All right. I think we're ready to get started here. Peyton, are you on and ready to go?
I'm all good.
All right. Just let me know you want me to advance the slides. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashton Titus. I'm a senior BFA dance performance major here at Chapman University. I'm also a member of the honors program and I work for the department and as the honors program as well. So, very involved on campus. And this is Peyton.
Hi, everybody. My name is Peyton. I am a junior BA dance student. I also am a double major in psychology with a minor in integrated educational studies. I am also a student worker for the department, and we are so happy to have you guys here with us. We're going to go ahead and get it started with just a little tour of our brand new facility that we are blessed to be in. So Ashton is going to click us through. So this is kind of the front entrance, as you see here. We are right next to the K, which is one of our residential halls. So this is kind of facing in from the K courtyards and looking into the entrance of our building. We have two different levels. So we're going to start. Oh, we also have lots of nice outdoor seating as well. You'll see lots of students mingling out here, eating their lunch and snacking and socializing in between classes. Up next, you'll see another lovely view of the inside of our building. This is looking into our performance space. So this is something new and unique to this space that we are lucky to have. So our performance space is a classroom typically during the day, during most of the school year, but we can convert it into a performance setting. As you can see, we have the risers that come down and seat about 130 people. We also have professional theatrical lighting as well as sound system in there. You can kind of see in the corner in the back of the room, we have these black curtains that'll pull out and close off the space with the windows. So it turns into a full performance space for our students. And then here's a look from the inside. So this is inside looking out. We have a couple more pictures in here. So we'll just click through these. There's a good look at those bleachers. And these pull out from behind the mirror. So during classes like this one, where you're in ballet class, the mirrors do pull out on sort of like this curtain rod system. So you have mirrors for your class during the day. And then if you have performances, then they'll go back into the wall and it'll convert into a full performance space. All right. Out here is just one of our seating areas. We have many social areas in our building. This one highlights some of our posters of residencies that we've had in our department through MUSCO, some of which are Pilobolus, Diavolo. We currently have Mark Morris here with us. So we like to bring in a lot of artists to work with our students for master classes. I think Ashton will touch a little bit more on this later, but those are some of the posters that of past artists that we've had. Again, just more seating. These walls, or the walls previously, but I think there's another picture of them as well, were the original flooring of the orange packing house that was the building before we renovated it and turned it into our dance building. So it was a over 100-year-old orange packing house that is a historic building of Orange, and we preserved the space and converted it into our dance building. So yeah, we'll just continue to look at the beautiful space. There's those walls again that used to be the original flooring. And the next up, I believe, is our beautiful tap space. This is on the lower level, same with the performance space. And these tap floors were handpicked for the specific space. So they're the best tap floors you can get. Next up, this is really exciting. We do have a training room, which comes with 3 different reformer tables, as well as the Cadillac. We also have free weights and other fun equipment in here. I'm currently in a class right now that is teaching us how to use all this equipment so that once we make it through this class, we are able to come in like little buddy systems and work out together on the reformer equipment, which is really exciting that we get to use this throughout our education. We also have a huge emphasis on preventative injury prevention within our department. So we will utilize the space for physical therapy things and such like that. We also have a once a month healthy dancer clinic. We currently don't have a full-time physical therapist, but that is the goal, to eventually get a full-time physical therapist. But in place of that, in the meantime, we have those once a month healthy dancer clinics where Dr. Katoris comes in and he will kind of give dancers like a free consultation for about 10 minutes. And then if they need to go see him or they need to go see other physical therapists or doctors that we have connections to, we set that up for our students. But those consultations are free. And it's really great that the department has such an emphasis on that. Looking through more of our space, I believe we're going upstairs now. Yes. So upstairs we have sort of our studio area and we'll also have a loft space, but I think this will take us through some of our studio spaces. So we have 4 studio spaces on this second level. We have lots of open space, open lighting, which is really nice to have that in the studio space. So as you can see, we're looking into Studio 2 right now. And I think the next slide takes us into one of the studios. Oh, nope. But here is some of our beautiful seating. We have lots of social spaces, like I mentioned earlier. So during passing period, you'll see students here eating, chilling, napping, catching up on their day. It's a really great spot to socialize with your peers. Now we're in one of the studios. So I believe this is Studio 2, it looks like. You'll notice that all of our studios do have these beautiful pianos. That's because we do have live accompanists for our classes. So whether that's a ballet class where a pianist is playing or a modern class where one of our musicians will be on the drums. It's a really cool little extra thing that we have in our department just because it's great to see how the professors work one-on-one with the accompanist to make the music for their class specific to whatever we're working on, whether it's center work, floor work, across the floor, ballet, modern, jazz, just a great little thing that we have. And here's another look. This is going to be Studio 1. So all 4 of these studios are about the same size. They're really spacious and have this gorgeous natural lighting throughout the day. Here's another look. And now we're going up into our loft space. So this is kind of like our 3rd floor, but we call it our loft. So again, lots more social space for social gathering, as well as studying. You'll see this little curtained off area right here. We like to call that our quiet room. It's like our designated no talking area where you can go in and get some quiet time for studying. There's another view of it. It's beautiful. This is one of our 2 classroom spaces. These rolly chairs are really fun. I have anatomy in here at 9:30 on Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings. But we do have classroom space. This is really nice because we used to only have 1 classroom space in our previous building. So upgrading to 2 classroom spaces just allows for more curriculum to take place at once. But I think there's another picture of our next classroom somewhere. This is the outside of that classroom. And here's our other classroom. So yeah, we have both, of course, the physical side of dance, but we also have the academia as well. So we do offer classes such as Intro to Dance Studies, Anatomy, Kinesiology, Dance Productions, Dance History. So we have a plethora of other classes that we offer that are in more of an academic setting than just the physical classes like jazz, modern, and ballet. And now I'm going to be passing it over to Ashton.
Ah, there's my face. Okay, hi everyone. So as you can see here, we are accredited by the National Association of Schools of Dance. This is a really big deal for us as a department. It ensures that we are up to code with a lot of the standards, not a lot of, all of the standards set by this association that just ensure a really high quality education in dance. If you are in your school search looking at other schools, really look and see if they have this accreditation because it's a good marker for the quality of the dance education you're going to get. We've also been named one of the best dance programs in California and in the United States in general, multiple years in a row. It's something we like to brag about. You'll hear it multiple times, and we're just on the rise. Here at Chapman, we offer 2 undergraduate degrees. One is a Bachelor of Arts in Dance, and the other one is a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Dance Performance. All that means is that they have different degree requirements. So the BA, Peyton, do you know how many off the top of your head, how many credits the BA is?
I believe the BA is 44. I
The
should know
BA is
because
44.
and I
Yes,
believe the BFA is 77.
The BFA is 77. But all that means is that if you decide to stick with the BA, everyone comes in as a Bachelor of Arts, so in your freshman year, everybody's the same. During your sophomore year, you can audition to go to the BFA track. And all that means is there's a little more degree requirements, a couple more choreography requirements, things like that. But the BA is really wonderful because it allows students to be flexible and double major, like Peyton is doing, or pursue interests outside of the university. I know a lot of people who are working professionally, and so they chose to just do a BA to make that more manageable for them. Chapman is really great in offering personalized, flexible education, especially in the dance department. And it's easy to do all the things you want to do. We also offer two minors, but maybe not. We offer a dance minor, that's for sure. And the musical theater minor is kind of closed for construction right now. They're revamping it and redesigning it to make it more accessible for the people who want to pursue it. So I started as a musical theater minor, but I did drop it just because there were too many course conflicts, and those are the things that they're trying to fix. So hopefully in the future that will be back up for people to pursue.
I want to
Here
make
are
a
some
quick
of,
correction. It's
yeah,
47 credits for the BA. I wanted to make sure.
47. Thank
47
you.
credits.
47 and 77. So lots of flexibility there. I'm a BFA because I decided I wanted to be. I know people who have done a BFA and a double major, people who BA and double major, people who just do a BA and don't have anything else other than their minor. Here at Chapman, you are required to have another area of study, whether that's another major, a minor, or a cluster, which is just kind of a mini minor. But the goal of that is to make well-rounded students and people who go out into the world. So here on the slide, we have a couple of our faculty. Our current dean is Julia Ungaro. He is stepping down after this year, though, and so I'm not sure who his replacement will be. Our chair is Julianne O'Brien. She's wonderful. She's amazing. Here's some of our other full-time faculty. Miss Robin Kish is our kind of in-house witch doctor, health guru. If you have anything that hurts, you go to Robin. Liz Maxwell, Jenny Backhouse, Alicia Guy, Wilson Mendieta, and Clara Harnett is our department manager. I don't know what her official title is, but she makes everything happen. And this is just a couple other of our faculty members. We have many, and it's wonderful. They all offer such unique perspectives to dance and different styles, even within jazz, modern ballet, which are our core three techniques. There are so many different subgenres available through these wonderful faculty members. We are also blessed to have Ido Tadmore, who is our presidential fellow. He is really a legend in the dance world. He was one of the founding members of Batsheva. He was the artistic director of the Israeli National Ballet. Just is a wonderful choreographic voice. I'm in his piece for our fall faculty concert right now. So if you're in town the first weekend of December, definitely come see that. But he teaches, he lectures, he does a lot of kind of like odd things around, including choreographs. So we're lucky to have him. And our newest faculty addition is Mr. Dwight Roden. He is the founder, artistic director, and choreographer of the Complexions Contemporary Dance Company. He is also choreographing for the fall faculty concert coming up in December. So definitely come and see his work if you're in the area. So as Peyton mentioned earlier, we like to bring in lots of guest artists as residencies through the Musco Center to come teach classes for the dance department. So right now we have Mark Morris Dance Group in town. They just performed on Saturday. And this week and last week, they've been in our classes, teaching master classes, sharing their knowledge, talking about what it's like to be a professional dancer, all sorts of things. And this is pretty par for the course here at Chapman. So we had last year, Pilobolus came in, Complexions came in. This year, Camille A. Brown is coming in later. Who else am I forgetting, Peyton? We had someone earlier this year. Well, we had Masters at Chapman earlier, which we'll talk about in a bit. But we have lots of residencies. It really, again, supplements the already very robust and well-rounded education that we get here, but with all this real-world experience from people who are working. Here are just some other groups and people who have come in the past years to teach and perform here at Chapman. We also have the privilege of dancing in many different venues when we perform. So here you'll see the beautiful Musco Center for the Arts. It is our biggest and most lavish performance space. It hosts performances such as the Fall Faculty Dance Concert, the Spring Dance Concert. It also hosts just like regional tours. When Mark Morris was here, this is where they performed. All of our residencies that come through Musco. And it's really just a wonderful opportunity to perform. Here you can see it's breathtaking. Every time I'm on that stage, I have to pinch myself and tell myself that I'm not actually dreaming. It was designed by the same people who designed the Walt Disney Theater, the Opera House. So definitely you can see some of the design elements there as well. One of our other spaces is Memorial Auditorium. This is the historic theater on Chapman. It's a little bit smaller. I don't know the exact seat number off the top of my head, but it is beautiful as well. I think we have some pictures of the interior. Yes, so it's a proscenium, almost a thrust stage, has a balcony. This is where a lot of our student organization performances happen. We'll talk about those a little bit later, but things like the Chapman Dance Alliance show happens here every year. Lots of Greek life organizations happen in this auditorium when they do their philanthropy performances. So just another great space for us to be able to perform in right here on campus. We also have the Waltmar Theater. This is much more intimate. Things like the Works in Progress concert have happened here in the past. On Team, which is one of our junior choreography concerts, happens here in the spring as well. It's more of a black box experience. As you can see, the audience is much more raked. And I think, no, we don't have a picture of the stage, but it's a nice little black box theater, very intimate, really nice for dance venues. And we also do lots of on-site performances. We work with site-specific work. Here you'll see some dancers in the crosswalk outside of Chapman's, I think that's Smith Hall. One of our faculty members did a site-specific work one year where every time the crosswalk came on, they could dance, and then they had to leave by the time the blinker stopped. It was really fun. Got some great pictures here, as you can see. But we like to utilize our whole beautiful campus. If you're touring, sometimes you'll see dancers in the fountains on campus, dancing in the lawns, really just soaking up the beautiful Southern California atmosphere. We also have a lot of performance and choreography opportunities for our students. That's part of why I personally chose Chapman. So as I've mentioned a couple times, the fall dance concert pictured in the left, one of our posters, is typically faculty and guest artists coming and choreographing on our students. We host the auditions in the spring for the following fall, and we work on them all through the semester. As I mentioned, if you're in town the first weekend of December, that's when this year's concert will be taking place. So please come join us. You'll get kind of a taste of what it means to dance at Chapman. The second is Works in Progress. This is our sophomore choreography concert. So every year, students have the ability to propose their ideas for choreography and then present them in different degrees of difficulty. So Works in Progress is very stripped down. It is a work in progress, and it's all about the craft of choreography and kind of getting your feet wet in that world. And then moving on to Concert on Team and Frameworks. These are our junior, and Frameworks is kind of a junior senior choreography show. Here we start incorporating more technical elements. You have a little more control over costuming, things like that. Pieces get bigger, processes are longer, a little more involvement in those processes. And then the spring dance concert is our senior choreography concert that happens in the Musco Center every spring. It's typically the first weekend of May. It's wonderful. It's just a great time to dance with your peers and see them if you're not performing, or choreograph yourself. It's full technical capabilities. Costumes are made for you. We have a wonderful costume department here at Chapman. I'm so sorry. My fire alarm is going off. I'm going to mute myself. Will you take over, Peyton?
Yes. So we left off at Fall Fac, correct? Or was that? Okay, we'll just go into
We can
dance
move on to
clubs.
club.
Okay, let's move on to dance clubs. So we do have several dance clubs on campus. Kind of the umbrella club, which Ashton is president of, is Chapman Dance Alliance. So this is a club that as you get accepted into the dance program, when you come to Chapman, you are automatically in Chapman Dance Alliance. So you can be a part of our community classes that Chapman Dance Alliance offers, which is taught by students. So if you're interested in teaching a class class, you can apply. We're actually having applications go out right now. And then there are also choreographic opportunities. So every fall, we have our Chapman Dance Alliance show. So it just happened this past October, which is all student choreographed as well. So sophomores to seniors will choreograph within the CDA concert, which is such an exciting event for us. So it gives students more opportunities to choreograph and perform on campus. And like I said, this is kind of the umbrella club, but we also have Team Shaka. This is like one of our hip hop teams on campus. So this club you have to audition for, but they perform in a lot of different venues on campus. They'll perform for the CDA concert. They'll do a little segment. And they also perform in a lot of Greek life events that happen. So lots of different opportunities. Ashton said she's back and wants to take over. So I'm going to transition back to her really quick.
No, we can pass it back and forth. Sorry about that, everybody. Tonight is just the night of issues, I guess. But yeah, so as Peyton was saying, Chapman Dance Alliance is an organization that fosters community opportunity and artistry for all dancers on campus. I got a question asking if non-majors can be in Chapman Dance Alliance, and yes, absolutely. We have a piece that's specifically designated for people who are not dance majors, just because we want that community to be bolstered as well. And many non-majors are cast in all of the pieces. This year we had a record 252 dancers in the show, and that is largely because of the involvement of our non-major community. So we absolutely, very enthusiastic. Yes, it is open to everybody and anybody who wants to join. Team Shaka, as you mentioned, is our hip hop team. The Chapman University dance team is our kind of what you would expect when you hear like dance team for universities. It is a club though, so we have a little more independence. I will say they are going on their 14th consecutive national first place title. So they are pretty fierce. They're pretty incredible. Watching them makes me just question all of my life choices and makes me wish I stretched more when I was younger. Stilettos is one of our newer clubs on campus. This is kind of the LA hot heel style of dance. It's wonderful. It's blossomed so much in the last 2 years, and we're so excited to see just how it continues to develop. Q is the Chapman University Tap Ensemble. It's exactly what you would imagine. It's a group of tap dancers, and they perform at CDA, at other Greek life things. They're currently working on a music video for an artist right now. A great opportunity if you are interested in like really diving into tap here at Chapman. Floor 13 is another organization. It's kind of hip hop, it's kind of a lot of things. It's very accessible if you are newer to dance or if you are just not looking to be in any of these specific clubs that are just like hip hop, just dance teeny things, just stilettos. They're great for, they also offer community classes and performances. And then the Chapman Dance Film Club is a newer club on campus as well. I'm also one of the presidents of that. And we look to build a bridge between Dodge, the film school here, which is also like third best in the nation for film schools, and dance. And we really try to bolster people in their ability to make dance films because it's a budding industry and it's a skill that many people need and would like to know how to do. So we have actually a festival coming up this Friday. It's a mock music video festival that people have submitted films for, and we'll be screening that and having a little like after party mixer for people to get to know each other afterwards. And finally, Chapman Fusion, pardon me, is our newest club on campus. They're another dance group, and they really look at bringing lots of different styles together. So not just kind of your typical Western movement, but like K-pop and Indian dance and lots of other things, and fusing those together, as the name would imply. Pictured here are some of our incredible alumni. Something that Chapman does really well is create lots of different versatile dancers. So all of these pictured here have gone into very specific, very niche areas of the dance world, thanks to their education that they received here at Chapman. So there's just a couple things that we like to point out. So lots of people dancing with Diavolo, Cirque du Soleil, Shenwei, Backhouse Dance, the Cher Touring Company, Hubbard Street, Chicago, Wicked National Tour, all these things. They're working with top agents and commercial industry giants during your last year of the BFA class that we take. They bring in some of the dance agencies and we get to audition in person for them, which is not anything to sneeze at nowadays, as most of those are self-tapes and virtual auditions. Having an in-person audition is really wonderful. We have the Director of Arts program at the Segerstrom Center for the Arts, production manager for Pilobolus. They own and direct studios, professors at OSHA, The Wooden Floor, which is a nonprofit in here. Published, if you're looking more for like the dance science, dance education thing, we have published writers and artistic directors of LACDC and Backhouse Dance, as well as physical therapists, athletic trainers, doctors. So as you can see, it's a really broad realm of where you can go after you graduate Chapman. One of our alumni that was actually just back for our masters at Chapman, which is a yearly concert where we bring in different like masters in the field, if you will, and we have them come teach and they create work and they present it. And this year we were lucky enough to bring back Elijah Richardson, who is one of our alumni, and he was listed as one of the 25 to watch in Dance Magazine's list last year. He's been working in Chicago, dancing, choreographing, just doing wonderful work. He is absolutely a joy to work with and dance with, and we're so excited to see where he continues to go. As we mentioned earlier, Backhouse Dance is a company here in Orange County that is, the artistic director is Jenny Backhouse. She is not only a Chapman alumni, but she's also a Chapman professor. She's one of our full-time professors, and they offer summer intensives every year that are a really great way to get to know not only the company, but Chapman, because a lot of their dancers come from the Chapman world. This is the poster from last year because we don't have the one for next year, but I personally have participated in them. They are wonderful. If you are think you're interested in dancing at Chapman, definitely look at it because it's a good kind of peek into what dancing here is like. It's hosted here at the Sandy Simon Center for Dance. There's housing available. If you have any questions about that, I worked for them last semester as a chaperone, so I can dig some of those things up from my memory. And then here's the thing that you all are here for. So how do we get in? First, you have to complete the common application, which I'm sure you all are very familiar with. Once you do that and you're approved, you will submit a creative supplement, which includes a pre-screen video. All of these specific details are on the dance department website, which I believe is what that QR code links to. If not, it's just the kind of like how to apply at Chapman University. After the video submission, select individuals will be called back for an in-person audition, or I believe we still offer a virtual audition if you can't make it out here to Orange County. And then after that, you will receive your final admissions decision as well as your financial aid package. So it's pretty standard as far as the audition processes for dance departments go. Nothing that's too crazy, too out of the ordinary, but it is definitely getting more and more selective every year, which is absolutely crazy. We just had our first audition last weekend, the first in-person audition, and the talent is just through the roof. We're so excited to welcome our next class. All right, that is it for our presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen if anybody wants to go ahead and hop on. But now we're going to move on to the Q&A portion of our evening. So there's some chat questions that we'll start with, but you can also feel free to turn on your mic, turn on your anything, and ask your questions. We'll start from here. How many people are usually called back from the initial pre-screen? It's different every year. I know that this year they had over 400 applications so far, and I think that they shoot to bring in person between 100 to 200. I don't know off the top of my head. It changes every year depending on how many we receive virtually. Other questions? Daughter is raving about the Backhouse intensive. Yes. Oh my gosh. Hi. Some people from the chat or the Backhouse Dance Intensive. Love it. When will the Backhouse Dance be available to apply? It's usually available in the early winter to spring. I do think in past years, pretty much everyone has been accepted. I'm not exactly sure if their admissions process is changing, but take a look at their social media, anything Backhouse Dance, and their website will also be updated with that. When will we know if we have been invited to the in-person audition? We admit on a rolling basis, so you'll be notified. Usually, I think I want to say, I don't know if Morgan's still on here, but I think it's like 3 to 6 weeks after you submit. Morgan, can you speak to that?
Yeah, so it kind of varies depending on when you do it and just kind of the timeline of people coming through. So usually it's like 3 weeks or so, but also kind of depending if you turned it in super early, it kind of takes us a while to get through everything. So everyone should be hearing something by like mid-November if you've already submitted something to us.
Awesome, thank you. How many dancers do we accept every year has come up a couple times, and it varies. I think they shoot to admit around 80 for a class of 40 is typically the goal. It's fluctuated in years past due to like COVID and other things, but that's kind of the range of what we want here because even though we've expanded in our building, we don't want our class sizes to get too crazy. The audition that took place last weekend was for anybody who submitted early action or early decision. So those were due earlier in the year, but if you submitted by the regular deadline, you will hear on a rolling basis. Um, uh, are grades considered during pre-screening or after live auditions? Morgan, can you also speak to that?
Yes, I can. So our grades are considered. They're kind of more in the final admission stage of the process. So once you're applying, we're going to start by looking at all of your dance stuff, decide if we're going to admit you. And then that's kind of concurrently happening with our admissions team, looking over all of your academics. So they definitely are considered as part of the process, and you'll receive only one decision that's from Chapman as a whole that you'll know if you get into the dance program and Chapman. But yeah, they're usually kind of reviewing for dance right away to see if you'll get that audition.
Awesome. Thank you, Morgan. I'm going to pass this question on to Peyton. Just talking about everyday life, how many hours do you think dance majors spend at the studio?
Yeah, so kind of a breakdown of what, like, say, for example, your first semester freshman would look like. So the department does schedule your dance classes for you. So they like to spread them out to where you are not taking all of your techniques in one day, just to kind of give you a healthy break within your day. So you may have ballet at 9:15, and then say, for example, intro to dance studies at 11. And then that'll give you kind of a break to go either take some GE classes or take an actual break. And then you may the next day have a jazz class. So we do require that you take jazz, modern, and ballet. Depending on your track, will depend on how many jazz, modern, and ballet classes you take per semester. The BA track, you don't have to take all three every single semester. You just have to make sure that you're meeting the requirements. And then I believe for BFA, you are in a dance class all 5 days of the week, including the BFA technique class at the end of the week. So yeah, you're managing all of your technique classes, any of your dance academics, and then you are also fitting in those GEs where you can. So that'll be anywhere from a range of 12 credits to 18 credits to make you potentially a full-time student. And yeah, it's pretty much up to you how many GEs you want to fit in that first semester. So if you're trying to take it easier, you can take a lighter load. But for me, I've taken anywhere from 15 to 18 credits every semester, which has helped in my position of having a double major and a minor. You'll also have rehearsals at night. So if you're in CDA, if you're in Fall Fac, or if you're in any of the spring concerts, you'll have those rehearsals anywhere from about the 6 p.m. to cutting off at 10 p.m. range. So our classes will typically start at no earlier than 9:15, 9 to 9:15. And then most of our classes are done by 5:45. So then we transition into the rehearsals in the space after that. So then you're prepping for any shows that you have coming up. So that's kind of what a typical day in the life looks like.
Awesome. Thank you, Peyton. That's perfect. On top of that, the studios are open to dance majors anytime they want. So if you are just feeling like you're not getting enough time in, which I guarantee you will not feel that way, they are open for you at any time as long as you reserve them. Question about callback dates. I believe they're posted on the dance department website somewhere with audition info, and you will also be offered a list once you have been through the pre-screen. Morgan, is that correct?
So they are not posted. They're invitation only, so we keep that private. But if you really need to know, just kind of plan ahead, you can always reach out to us and we'll usually be willing to share those. But if you are invited, you'll get a list in your email of all the possible dates that you can sign up for.
Perfect. Thank you. There's a question about study abroad here, and that's a fantastic question. Chapman offers a lot of study abroad opportunities. Specifically for dance, there's no programs that are like one-to-one transfers for the dance department. So it's a little more difficult to finagle between performance credits, but it is possible. They have the Semester at Sea program and any other semester-long transfer programs. But on top of that, we have interterm here at Chapman. So the month of January is kind of its own semester. It's included in the cost of tuition, and you can either take a class and it meets every day for like 3 hours a day for the entire month, and you get 3 credits for it. So it's a great way to get those requirements out. Or you can do what I did and do a travel course over interterm. So I went to Florence, Italy through the honors program and did a travel course on the Renaissance and making art of my own. And it was absolutely one of the best experiences of my life. And that was wonderful because it didn't conflict with the performance requirements or opportunities during the spring. So I didn't miss any rehearsals. I was able to fully participate in those, but I was also able to get that study abroad experience. So that's something that if you are interested in, once you're accepted, you can speak with your academic and program advisors about, and they'll help you kind of figure out how to plan ahead for that. Because you do need to know about a year before you want to go abroad if it's going to work for you.
We had a question.
Yeah.
We had a question about what the audition process looks like once you get to the in-person audition. So since I just worked those last weekend, just a little breakdown is so for example, they came in, they checked in at the table. There are student workers to help facilitate the audition. So you get to mingle with a lot of us really cool kids and get to talk about our Chapman experience. So we'll bring you into one of the spaces. All the parents are welcome to as well. We'll do like a little information session where you can ask questions and hear a little bit more about our department from either one of our chair or Julianne, our chair, or one of our faculty members. And then do a Q&A session with the students similar to what we're doing now, but with about 10 to 15 students. Sometimes we'll even show a piece as well. So last week we showed one of our CDA pieces. I'm not sure if we'll be doing that for the December audition, but it's possible. And then after the Q&A session and information session has kind of wrapped up, it'll be time for the students to start warming up. So usually we like to do that with a class. I believe Liz Maxwell, one of our full-time faculty, will be taking charge on that at the next audition. And so it can be a variety of different classes. Sometimes we do a jazz class, sometimes we do a ballet class, sometimes we do a modern class, just to get the students kind of an idea of what taking from one of our full-time faculty looks like. So then after the warm-up, you will kind of go get in your own headspace. You'll get ready for your solo. So you'll do a solo audition. This can be the same solo that you submitted for the pre-screening audition. So we will take you upstairs to one of our full-time faculty again, which are going to be reviewing your solo with you. So you'll do your solo for them, and then they will ask you to stay and ask some questions, either about like your high school experience, your dance experience. And then after that, it's pretty much done. You can check out our space after the auditions are over. But we also understand that you may have a plane to catch. But yeah, that's kind of what our in-person auditions look like. So there will be time to mingle with faculty, with other current students, and just to take in the space and see how you feel in the Chapman environment. Yeah.
Perfection. There's a question about the female to male student ratio, and that changes every year. There's not a specific number that we look for men and women. It's just about who comes in the room and who we think would be a great fit for Chapman. Another question about accepting if you have an injury. Yes, we have multiple dancers who have come in with full, like, blown out ACLs. And I'm not exactly sure what that process looks like if you're not able to submit a creative supplement, but I know that it has happened in the past. So I think if you have specific questions about that, reach out to the admissions office, and just whoever is on the other end of that email will be able to connect you with what you need to do. Big difference in the acceptance rate for early action and early decision. Not necessarily. We accept on a rolling basis. So obviously the sooner you get in and the sooner you get into those auditions, the better your chances. But it's not a set number of we accept this many here, we accept this many here. It's just as soon as we fill up, we fill up. Can you please share any audition experience? That is mostly what Peyton said. I think be confident, be you. Don't worry about like fitting a certain mold. We really look for versatile dancers here at Chapman. If you look at our current student body, it's all different body types. It's all different like backgrounds of dance, lots of different strengths and genres and things. So, I mean, Peyton, didn't you do a ballroom solo for your audition? Yeah. So, and I did a contemporary solo. So, really, whatever feels like the best representation of you, that is your best bet. Double major, Peyton, do you want to talk about that? Is there a worry with competition?
So I was just about to take that one. So thanks. So I wouldn't necessarily say most or least do either. It really just depends on each academic year. Sometimes you'll see students do a double major. Sometimes you'll see students do a major and a double minor, or like myself, a double major and a minor. It really depends on the other area of emphasis that you're looking at for your studies. So if you're looking to do the BFA track and you're thinking about going into STEM can be pretty heavy with all the lab work that you have to do. So considering the time that you have to put into that, maybe depending on what you want to do afterwards, after post-grad, and considering whether you would rather do a BA in dance or do the BFA in dance and a major in STEM, it's totally possible. We've seen it happen before. But that's just one example. So it really depends on what you're looking to get out of your education and how well you time manage. If you're a student that is coming in with lots of previous class credit, me, for example, I came in with AP credit as well as dual enrollment credit. So I was able to kind of use those and subsidize those as my GE credit. So I was able to get ahead in my second major. And as a junior, I'm pretty much done with my psych major. And I just have dance and my IAS classes to finish up. But so yeah, it really just depends on knowing yourself and knowing what you want to study and what you want to get out of your studies. And you don't have to know that all your first semester as a freshman. But as far as competition for classes going, if you're referring to enrollment, this doesn't necessarily make a difference because enrollment is done by your academic year or your academic standing. So if you're a freshman and you are a freshman by credit, which I believe is anywhere from 0 to about 20 or 40 credits, 30. So 30 credits. If you're a freshman standing, you will be the last to enroll. And that's just so that we can ensure that our seniors and older can get all the credits that they need in order to graduate. So it kind of goes on a tiered scale from that. So you'll have, you may have a hard time if you're a freshman getting into upper division classes because you have to kind of work your way up the system, but that's the case for every major. That's not just dance, that's not just psychology, but it all works out in the end because there are so many class options that you can take from all of our different majors. And within your GE program, you don't have to stick with one specific set of GEs. We have a plethora of GEs or a plethora of classes that qualify for GE credits because we're on an inquiry-based system. So you can check that out on our website. If you look up like science inquiry Chapman, you can see all the classes that we have offered. So there's lots of room to kind of move your schedule around throughout your 4 years.
Awesome. Thanks, Peyton. Morgan, do you have something to add?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I've seen a few questions in the chat also about virtual auditions and what those look like. I'm happy to talk about that, or if either of you want
Yeah.
to, I can talk on it. But so basically how Peyton explained how in-person auditions go, virtual auditions are essentially the exact same. We're just doing it over Zoom. So you're gonna be coming in, doing like a little Q&A with whatever faculty members we have there. And we usually have some students as well. And then we'll do a warm-up class that you'll just do on Zoom in your own space. And then from there, we do our individual auditions and you'll go into a breakout room with that faculty member and perform your solo. So it really operates the exact same way. You're still interacting with them one-on-one. You're just on Zoom instead of in person. But yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Morgan. Question about, is it doable to do a BFA, have a minor, and do honors as well? That's what I was doing when I came in. Like Peyton, I came in with pretty much my entire GE done thanks to AP credits and dual enrollment. So it's definitely possible if you're in that situation. It's probably possible otherwise. You just might not be able to have much of a life outside of your coursework. So definitely considering what that looks like. The honors program acts as a minor. It is my minor since I have to have it to graduate. and it's really wonderful. It equates to about one class per semester, and they're all interdisciplinary Socratic style classes that are really focused on discussion and engagement with material versus like lectures and labs. So I can speak more to that later, but we have a lot of questions and only about 3 minutes left of the session, so I'm trying to motor through those. Financial aid, the biggest financial aid you're going to get is through the academic merit scholarships, and those are outlined, I believe, online on the website somewhere. We do have some talent scholarships available through the dance department, and those are awarded at your audition, but they are not going to be pulling the weight of your academic need or your financial need. So definitely the grants and scholarships that are available for the academic side are a possibility, as well as the FAFSA financial aid. In general, though, Chapman is very generous with financial aid, and like I, full disclosure, would not be here without my financial aid package. So most people are not paying the full ticket price. Okay, scrolling through. I'm going to skip over the ones that Morgan answered in the chat just because you have already gotten an answer. Regular decision process and virtual auditions. Regular decision is the same as the early action process that was described. It's just about when you get your materials in. What do we, in what order? We review the pre-screen videos in the order that they were received, I believe. Which AP courses we were able to receive credits for. I think those are listed online. I'm not sure if they've changed, but it's pretty much all of them. And the way that our GE works, as Peyton was explaining, is we have different inquiries. So we have like artistic inquiry, science inquiry, quantitative inquiry, and those basically are just big buckets that a lot of classes at Chapman fall under, and you can take any of the classes in that category to fulfill that requirement. So for example, I took AP statistics in high school, and so I didn't have to do anything for my quantitative inquiry because it checked off that box. I was very lucky in the classes that I took in high school, happened to check off one for every category of our GE here at Chapman. I know that's not always the case, but yeah, it's kind of varies by individual based on our GE structure, less than what APs are accepted. Okay, I think those are all the questions in the chat. If anyone has any other ones for our last couple minutes here, if you want to turn on your camera and speak to that. I think we might have got one more. No, that's it. All right, well, in that case, I think we're ready to conclude today's meeting informational session. Thank you all for coming. As Morgan put in the chat, you can email copaadmin@chapman.edu if you have any more questions. But we're so excited to hopefully see you here for auditions in the future. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening.